Hello, hello, Philippines, and welcome to Money Mondays with Sir Chubby. And for this week, we're going to talk about how to get a job ASAP. For this week's question, it's from Mary. Kuya Chubby, I'm really tired na. Ay, millennial. Kuya Chubby, I'm really tired na and I'm finally graduating this March. Yay! I want to have a job ASAP. OMG. What do I do? Wow. Thank you for that question, Mary. And to answer your question, hi guys, again we have here our very special guest, Mr. Rendon Geraldizo. Hi Don,
Hi, Sir Chubby.
how are you?
I'm doing really great.
Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. So my name is Rendon Geraldizo. You can call me Don, and I'd like to thank Sir Chubby for giving me this opportunity. It's such an honor to be here.
Welcome.
Yep. So I'm a CEO of Kintar Group of Companies. So what I do is that basically I handle the entire operations of all the companies under Kintar, and at the same time, I also handle training and marketing activities even outside Kintar.
Wow. So now Don, since we're talking about careers, can you share to our upcoming graduates this March advice or tips on what to do for them to be successful in their careers?
Sure. Number one, it's very important that you need to have a very clean and impressive resume. I mean, that's the document that describes who you are, and that's the document that should state how good you are and should highlight your competency. So the resume should be able to highlight at least 5 major achievements when you were still in school, or maybe in some organizations that you've been. I do understand that not all students may have graduated with flying colors, but I know that all of us have joined in organizations or any other groups that we can find some achievements from. Right now, even in our company, we do a lot of sourcing and we also do a lot of filtering some applications. So we'll look into these very important details in the resume. Not only will you be able to highlight the achievements that you have, but I think you should also put in what the organization can get from you if ever you are hired in the organization.
Okay, so first, the resume.
Yeah.
Then,
and of course, you need to prepare for the interview. That's the thing that comes next. So after the resume, prepare yourself for the interview. And this is how I prepared for interviews. I usually have YouTube as my friend before going to an interview.
so
There
you
are a
watch
lot.
YouTube videos?
Yep.
Wow, that's
So
something new.
So there are a lot of videos in YouTube that can really help you prepare yourselves for the interview. Also, do a lot of reading. Like before you even go, before you even go to the company for an interview, learn about the company first. Learn about their products and make sure that you're able to relate to some of them. And you should have that in mind. You have to think how you can contribute to the growth of the company, because that's the most important thing. We can just hire anyone from the streets, but we hire someone who bring with him or her those factors or those competencies that will help the company grow. So I was once invited to have an interview for an operations manager role. And even at that role, I was still preparing for that interview. So what I did was I read a book. That's a Paulo Coelho book. The book is entitled Like the Flowing River. And in that, it's a compilation of short stories. There is one story there I really like. That's the story of the pencil. And I always use that. I mean, I've used that story several times in an interview.
Wow.
And I was once asked, and this is a question that most interviewers ask. They ask me, can you describe yourself? And then I describe myself using the pencil, because in that story, the qualities of the pencil were enumerated. And so I related my qualities to the pencil. And there was one interviewer, I remember he was the site director of a company. And the site director told me that in his number of years doing some interviews, that was the most unique way of introduction. So I never really thought that story of the pencil can go that far. Yeah, but I've used that for several times.
Wow. So number 1 is resume, number 2 is interview, number 3.
The third thing is you can't be choosy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're the one looking for a job, and you're in dire need of one, so you can't be choosy. Some opportunities may just present themselves, so good if you have several opportunities, so you have options, but if there's only one, then grab it.
Yeah, very important.
I did not have any choice during my time. The only possible thing that I could get was the EA job, because I had some interviews for the government positions, because I mean, I was very optimistic and also very idealistic that I should end up working for the government, because I graduated with a political science degree.
Which is what usually happens, right?
Yeah, but no, I didn't get that job. So when I learned it earlier that I shouldn't be so choosy about the opportunity, so I grabbed the opportunity of becoming an executive assistant. And I grew from that position.
Yeah. And from that, you became what you are now.
Yeah, and I could only imagine that when I was an executive assistant, what I did was to prove to the executives that I'm worth more than an executive assistant.
Wow.
So another thing that I could impart to our viewers is that you need to put value on your position.
Wow.
You need to put value to your designation, and you have to really exceed expectations. So after a few months of being an executive assistant, the vice president for operations decided to give more tasks to me.
Wow.
And not only did I gain more tasks, but I also gained a raise in my pay.
Don, so what is your sort of final message for those who are about to graduate?
People will just hop from one job to another.
Yeah,
They hop from one company to another. So my advice is we should find success where we are at.
Yeah.
I mean, because if we're not successful in this place where we are at right now, like say, if you finally get a job, find success there. Yeah, because I don't say you stay there forever in that job, because you also need to grow professionally and personally. So find success in what you're doing. And you can only find success in what you're doing if you love what you're doing.
Yeah.
So try to love what you're doing, and you love what you're doing by contributing more than, again, what is expected. And when you are already successful in what you're doing, then maybe you can venture into other opportunities.
To look at that.
Another thing that I can advise our viewers, especially those who are still looking for a job, so when you finally get one, you need to fit into the organization.
Yeah, very important.
Yeah, every corporation, every company has their sets of values. So they are defined by values, and you need to fit in. And you need to make sure that if there are things that you don't see yourself fitting in, so if your values are not, or you cannot compromise your own values, then don't go and don't join in that company. But if you feel that you can grow with that company by compromising some of your personal standards, then you have to fit in. The last thing that I'd like to tell our viewers, that when you get a job, or when you're looking for a job and get one, that's a major change.
Yeah.
That means you might have to wake up as early as 6 a.m. just to get yourself to the office at 8, and then that change is not easy.
Okay.
So we really have to bear with the changes. And another change is that you will always have a boss.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, you'll have bosses, and you will have to work with a team. You have colleagues in the organization. So that's a change, and you need to welcome that change, because when there is change, you can experience growth.
Okay. Thank you so much, Don.
You are welcome, and thanks for having me.
Again, we'd like to thank you for watching this episode. Thank you so much, Rendon, for your time and for amazing input. And to all millennials out there, through your entire career journey, with all the love, please toughen up. And for everyone who's watching, please don't forget to comment and like below or ask questions. As we always say here, do what you love.
Love what you do. You are a passionpreneur.